Occult, the occult. It's from the Latin word occultus, meaning clandestine, hidden, or secret. It is the knowledge of the hidden. In common English usage, occult refers to, quote, knowledge of the paranormal, as opposed to knowledge of the measurable, meaning science. As a side note, we're talking about the occult, not a cult. Occult, O-C-C-U-L-T, not a cult, C-U-L-T. Okay, let's keep this simple. This is not a study on the occult. You can know all about the occult and never be a better Christian. Our interest is in setting people free, those who have been affected by the occult. There are a variety of types that fit into the occult category, like Wicca, paganism, voodoo, shamanism, Satanism, for example. Also, there are Ouija boards, seances, palm reading, EVP, electronic voice phenomena, and the like. These all are alike in that they all offer insight and power from a supernatural source other than God. The basic moral philosophy of the occult is antithetical to what we think of as moral. Moral to us means to consider others, but to the occult it is very personal, all about self and self-indulgence, even at the expense of others. They have a simple idea and it's easy to sell. Do as you like. And sometimes for good public relations, they will add this little end to it. Do as you wish as long as it doesn't hurt others. So even occultists have gone a little soft and PC. Now, what the occult promises is bold. It promises power, wisdom, and freedom. All of these are lies, of course. It brings the worst kind of bondage. It is a lie and only gives a feeling of power. I met many under this bondage, and they agree with the sense of power and freedom they feel. They also agree that it is ruining their life, like an addiction to heroin might. They love it and they hate it. The occult is seductive. It carries with it the power of secret knowledge. It deals in pride, self-importance, and aggrandizement and sensuality. Drugs are often used in the occult to enhance one's spiritual insight. Apostle Paul makes note of this dual concept of drugs and witchcraft in Galatians 5:20, because the Greek word for witchcraft is the root word for pharmacy or pharmakeia. Many drug users have felt that they are more spiritually aware and enlightened through drug use. This actually may be true, yet one doesn't know exactly what they will get. It is a dangerous thing to toy with these spiritual entities through the portal of drugs and the occult. Like a disease, like the Black Plague, it is much easier to get than get rid of. Most cases of mental illness today are drug-induced, and many carry a psycho-spiritual element. What I mean is that the individual will possess a heightened sense of personal importance in the world because of their newfound spiritual insight and power. They may think themselves as chosen, a type of Messiah or prophet. Demonic possession often accompanies the dabbling in the occult and drugs. Some individuals are aware of the presence of another entity within themselves. In many, if not most cases, these are welcomed and enjoyed partners. The occult is very seductive because of the freedom it promises. There are no moral limitations. It also uses sex in many practices and perversions of. It makes one feel powerful by having a special knowledge and spiritual insight that only a few possess. One can be very insignificant in the world, but the occult can grant them a gratifying sense of power and importance. If you have participated in this, you will need a thorough checkup. You will need to be honest with your Christian brothers and sisters and discuss details of your involvement. Have them pray for you. Renounce the ideas of the influence and ask forgiveness for the acts. In some cases, You may be aware of possession. If possessed, one needs intervention in prayer and must be willing to surrender to Christ and renounce the power of the other entity. Those assisting in prayer must demand that the entity leave by the authority in Christ. As a Christian, you have been attributed that power to exercise over demons. In the first week, this must be followed up. This happens through the washing of the word and prayer. The entity or spirit will want to go back into the host. This is not trivial and requires great transparency between both parties. The idea of washing of the word is to read and announce the truth from the Bible over an individual while in a mood of prayer. These scriptures are supplanting a lie with the truth. The verses chosen are related to one's identity in Christ, the truth. Here are some examples of types of verses that can be used. That the individual is a child of God. They need to be reminded that no weapon formed against them will prosper. That they are filled with the Spirit, that they're going to heaven, that all things are new. The fruit of the Spirit, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness. That they've not been given a spirit of fear, but of love and self-control. And even praying the Lord's Prayer over them will be helpful. Now take time to talk about the occult experiences, or these occult experiences, or if you've had some, because some of you may have been involved. This is a great time to begin the process of yielding to Christ and renouncing past demonic involvement. The truth shall set you free.